Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, ego and narcissism don't get people very far in this modern era and generally can end up leading to their own very downfall, especially when it gets out there into extreme. I mean, pride is one of the oldest sins in the Bible out there. Boys and girls is one of the oldest stories out there about somebody trying to be like God, and well, they got cast into the fiery pits of hell for it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in the modern era out there, we see egos and narcissism running absolutely rampant. Pride is obviously not considered a proud thing to be proud of, and well, these people out there think that they are so big, that they are so amazing, they are so smart, that they are so very fast, that they can take on behemoths like they have never seen out there with any absolutely zero consequences out there. Like this isn't the modern era anymore, that things haven't actually changed. The wind is at our backs, boys and girls, and common sense is once again reigning supreme. And well, if you hadn't heard of Microsoft's Avowed game out there, well, I really don't blame you. It hasn't been something that I've seen a lot of kind of big press for, and well, it should come as no shock to anybody out there that Avowed looks like it's going to end up being another Concord situation, and one of its very own creative directors is admitting to some very illegal activity when it comes to hiring practices. And now Elon Musk has tagged Microsoft's very own CEO in it, ladies and gentlemen, because somebody was a little too big for their britches, and I think they are about to find themselves, if not out of a job, I bet very quietly shut down on all their social media platforms very going forward, because boys and girls, Microsoft Avowed is nothing more than another Sweet Baby Inc. adjacent kind of game, and it's going to be another disastrous dumpster fire causing the video game industry hundreds of millions of dollars. And guess what, Microsoft? It's going to be exactly what you deserve, because you hired these insane activist spirit of the age cult nonsense people, and you're going to get the kind of backlash that everyone else in the video game industry has gotten. And hey, I'm here for it, boys and girls. So let's document the disastrous dumpster fire that is Avowed. So boys and girls, we're going to take a little trip down memory lane. And really, it's not all that far down memory lane. It's really about less than 24 hours from the time I'm recording this video. Because as you can see over here from our dear sweet Grums, turns out it's real. More crazy Obsidian art director posts from Asmongold's video. Avowed is in deep trouble. So what sparred all of this? What started all this? What spurned it all? Well, this is the art director at Obsidian Entertainment. All thoughts are my own. Yeah, like that actually ever works out for you. Occasional freelance artist, he, him. Oh yes, he's got pronouns in the bio. Color a shock there. Red flags, anyone? And then of course his email address. Matt here says, who is hurting plates and spinning cats. Reminder to black artists out there who are looking for portfolio reviews or job advice. My DMs are open, and you will always have my priority. Oh, so he's going to prioritize based off of skin color than actual merit or content of their character. Okay. We got too many crusty white dudes in this field. Please let me help you replace me one day. I want to go back to living in the woods. Well, Matt, I hate to tell you this, but it is still a free country. Opposite of what you and your little psychopaths out there would have liked to have actually happened to our beautiful and wonderful country. But guess what? You can quit this job at any time and go right back out into the woods. But oh no, that's not the case in any way, shape, or form. So this admittance of illegal hiring practices with inside of this company has led to a whole lot of craziness going forward. And not only is this guy doubled down, but everybody and their mother is involved. And boys and girls, at this funny situation that this is not going to end up very well over here for our dear sweet Matt. So we're going to check out all these tweets, give you the full breakdown of the timeline of exactly what's going on and where this thing currently stands at right now. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Does this surprise you at all? We've got another crazy activist person out there completely and totally destroying a game before it even comes out by deciding to go after and attack fans and attack what literally one of the guys that literally represents over 51% of the American voting population out there. Do you think this is going to end up being another disastrous dumpster fire on the levels of Concord, or do you think this is going to be more on the levels of Dragon Age, Veilguard, or somewhere in between? Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links in the description as well. You could be part of the grease between our gears, keeping this machine running. So we've already went over the first post from Grums, right? And obviously this is something that was highlighted during our dear sweet one of Asmongold's streams out there and checking all of this out. Obviously a lot of people watch this stuff, and when crazy things like this get exposed, everybody likes to investigate it. And well, boys and girls, this is where it's gone from here. So Matt Hansen right over here sees Elon's tweet right here, because Elon flat out says when he's talking about a lot of this kind of stuff, he responds to, of course, the post over here going on for from Elon Miles Chong over here, right? Elon actually ends up replying to this one, right? Talking about the illegal hiring practices that they are participating in over here. So Elon out here says it should not be acceptable for any company in any gaming industry to be racist and sexist against white guys. Because yes, guess what? Under the Civil Rights Act, white people are protected just as much as black people and Asians and purple people and green people and yellow people and everything else, unless you're a purple people eater, and then you're going to jail because that's cannibalism and rude. But literally, this is exactly the kind of thing that is literally illegal under the Civil Rights Act. Well, guess what? Matt Hansen, in his arrogance, in his narcissism, in his pride, thinks he can literally take on the richest man on the planet and arguably the smartest man on the planet, the Tony Stark of our modern era, and thinks it's all going to go out with him because that's how big these people's egos are. It is literally on par with the devil himself thinking that he can be just like God. So what does Matt say? Oh, Elon, you sweet summer child, this will only embolden me, you sack of shit. Oh, yes, because, oh, look how good you go. Isn't that a wonderful response, boys and girls? He's doubling down on it and flat out admitting to his own illegal activity. And this is the best part about it. These people are so far up their own rear ends, they cannot see their nose for their face, boys and girls, is they have no idea that they are openly admitting that they are breaking the law, or they have been so emboldened for so very long about their side not getting any consequences for their illegal activity that they don't care. They should throw it out in their face. You're not going to do anything to me. Who's going to prosecute me? Well, as everybody's very well aware of, the federal government is changing hands, boys and girls, and there's probably going to be a lot of people getting prosecuted for things they thought they were going to get away with. So obviously Smash JT repines. Yikes, that dude is still going. Yo, at Microsoft, reel in your Obsidian team over at Avowed Games before he tanks the entire game and ruins your studio. Well, I think it's probably a little late for that one, given that was 16 hours ago at the time of this recording. But needless to say, not much has changed. And as of right now, at the time of this recording, we haven't got a response from Microsoft. But just like every other time we've seen this kind of stuff called out to one of these major corporations, all we ever end up seeing, much like what we saw with the Snow White actress Rachel Ziegler, they either issue apologies or they shut down all of their social media accounts and they refuse to say squat. And then more often than not, much like with some of the Sweet Baby Inc. employees, we find out later down the road they lost their jobs and now they're on unemployment. So we'll see what happens here with Matt Hansen. So this is where things start to get interesting because Elon Miles Chong, somebody who I really don't think is a very reliable person. I don't think he's a very good person. I think I've heard of him doing some very shady things in the past, but at the end of the day, not my monkeys, not my circus. And a lot of people do pay attention to him. And one of them is Elon Musk. So Elon Musk sees what Elon Miles Chong puts out there. Microsoft's gaming division is excluding whites from being hired to work on their video games. All of their new hires are unqualified, queer and black people because the company's executives have an explicit mandate against crusty old white dudes. And yes, as we said, Elon replied. And now we've got him tagging this guy right here. Who is this guy? This is Satya Nadella. And I apologize for I probably butchered your name, but chairman and CEO of Microsoft, boys and girls. And if you don't think this guy knows who Elon Musk is, if you don't think Elon Musk has probably got this guy's personal phone number, well, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you, boys and girls, because this is something that is going to get the attention of somebody like a CEO from Microsoft, and especially when Elon Musk, who does know the law very well, unlike our dear sweet Matt over there, knows that this is illegal and is calling Microsoft out for this. And considering who's going to be in charge next year for the DOJ and everything else, boy, wouldn't it be wild to see, considering the fact that Elon Musk and his little Doge and the fact that he's so buddy-buddy with Trump, wouldn't it be weird if an investigation already got opened up in the gaming industry to investigate all of their illegal hiring practices that they've been doing that are in violation of the Civil Rights Act? Boys and girls, you know what's kind of funny thing out there? I've heard a lot of people kind of talk a little trash about the Civil Rights Act over the years, but here's the thing about it, boys and girls. It is equal protection under the law. So if applied judiciously, and considering our current Supreme Court, it absolutely applies to a white person just as much as it does to any other race out there, boys and girls. And that's where the edge of the law cuts both ways. And if we are properly smart about this kind of thing and we use the lawfare to our advantage, we can destroy DEI at a fundamental level throughout all of these industries, because what they have been doing has been illegal hiring practice for decades, prioritizing the color of their skin or someone's sexuality over the content of their character and the actual qualifications they have. And we have seen the results of this. Do we need to bring up Star Wars Outlaws anymore? Do we need to bring up Dragon Age Veilguard again? These are prime examples of when you hire people based on immutable characteristics and they end up giving you nothing more than disastrous dumpster fires. And on top of it, to make it even worse, not only do they give you a broken and busted game, they decide to go out there and pick fights with the richest man on the planet, as well as the entire rest of the gaming industry. Boy, Microsoft, I wonder how that's going to work out for you. And of course, we all know how it's going to work out for them, because guess what? We're not as dumb as they always thought we were. We're not just the pigs at the trough that are willing to slop up whatever. We're not the idiot serfs that they thought they could boss around, because it's very apparent. We have woken up to all of their nonsense and all of their garbage. All we got to do is go back to Concord, the #1 video game disaster in history, costing the PlayStation company $500 million on something that was literally over in 2 weeks. Star Wars Outlaws, broken and busted sales. Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. DOA game. They've got a new one that just came out as well. There's another one that they completely and totally decided to cut off the DLC for as well, that we're going to talk about in another video. There are prime example after prime example of all of these games that have come out that have been all about diversity, inclusion, and equity, and a bunch of DEI hire run kind of garbage, and every one of them has turned into a disastrous dumpster fire. This has cost the video game industry hundreds of millions of dollars, and considering the kind of economy we currently find ourselves in, Microsoft certainly cannot have this kind of reputational damage done to its brand, considering the fact that, guess what? Woke is losing and common sense is winning again, and everybody is very well aware of that, especially after the election. That has made a huge difference. That is going to send a resounding, absolute, essential word to the rest of the world that the common sense Americans out there in this country are still the majority, and we are not going to buy into your DEI woke nonsense. And guess what, boys and girls? This is another prime example of it. And Matt Hansen and all of his pride and ego, you're going to find out why Lucifer fell as well, because you can think you can be like God all you want, but you would never be able to even hold the jockstrap of Elon Musk, you talentless DEI hire activist hack, and you're going to get exactly what you deserve. Enjoy watching the game you worked on burn down in flames.